Good morning everyone. එහෙනම් අපි අද අපේ session එක start කරමු. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මතක ඇති අපි අපේ yesterday session එකේ discuss කළා. business English වල introductory part එක අපි මේ වෙද්දි cover කරලා ඉවරයි. අපි yesterday තමයි අපේ last module එක වෙන business English කියන අපේ last module එක පටන් ගත්තේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති. එතකොට අපි කතා කළා what is business English? business English කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? ඊට පස්සේ අපි කතා කළා key components, three golden rules, workplace එකකදී අපිට භාවිතා කරන්න පුළුවන් vocabulary එකක් key vocabulary for workplace මෙන්න මේ විදිහට අපි විවිධ මාතෘකා යටතේ ව්‍යාපාර ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව business English කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා අපි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති අපි yesterday session එකේදී discuss කළා. ඒතකොට අද අපි discuss කරන්න යන්නේ තවදුරටත් business English මොන වගේ විදිහටද භාවිතා වෙන්නේ භාවිතා කළ යුත්තේ කොහොමද මොන වගේ අවස්ථාවන් වලදීද මොන ආකාරයටද අපි භාවිතා කරන්න ඕනේ එතකොට මේ හැම දෙයක් ගැනම අපි introductory idea එකක් කතා කළා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති එහෙනම් අපි තවදුරටත් බලමු අපි කිව්වා මේ presentation slides ටික අපි discuss කරනවා කියලා මේ PDF document එක අපි discuss කරනවා ඊට අමතරව ඔයගොල්ලන්ට resource book එකකුත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ WhatsApp group එකට send කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඒකත් පුතාලා මේ PDF note එක read කරනවා හා සමානව ටිකක් කියව ගන්න ඒක ගොඩක් වටිනවා ඒක නිසා තව ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕන තරම් resources Google එකෙන් search කරලා එහෙම නැත්නම් ඕන website එකකින් ගන්න පුළුවන් සර්ච් කරලා බලන්න. තව ටිකක් ඕගොල්ලෝ තනියෙන් self study කරලා ස්වයං අධ්‍යයනය කරලා තව කරුණු එකතු කරගන්න. තව දරුවෝ මගෙන් අහලා තිබුණා assignment එක ගැන. assignment එක මේ අපි business English module එකත් cover කරලා අවසානයේදී තමයි ඒකට අපිට තව දවස් දෙකක් තුනක් වගේ වෙද්දී අපිට සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේ module එකත් අවසන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ diploma program එකේ සියලුම පාඩම් මේකක units ටික cover කරලා අවසන්. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට speaking activity එකකුත් මම දෙන්නම්. assignment එක complete කරලා මට එවන්න මම මාසික කාලයක් දෙනවා. 1 month time duration එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ ඇතුළතදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ complete කරලා මගේ WhatsApp number එකට private message එකක් හැටියට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ PDF document එක send කරන්න ඕනේ. assignment එක PDF එකක් කරලා මට එවන්න ඕනේ. හරි? assignment එක පුතාලට ඕනනම් word document එකක් හැටියට එවන්නත් පුළුවන්. ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලොන්ගේ hand written assignment එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒත් ගැටලුවක් නෑ අතින් ලියලා හෝ word document එකක් හැටියට කියන්නේ word එකේ type කරලා එහෙම document එකක් හැටියට එවන්නත් පුළුවන් ඒ ක්‍රම විදි දෙකටම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එවන්න පුළුවන් ඒක ගැටලුවක් නැහැ එහෙනම් අපි අද තවදුරටත් business English ගැන ටිකක් discuss කරමු okay විශේෂයෙන්ම කියන්න ඕනේ මම මේ අවසාන මාසෙ වගේ කාලේ මම ඔයගොල්ලොන්ගේ හැම ලෙක්චර් එකක්ම කළේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් බයලින්ගුවල් මීඩියම් එකකින් නෙමෙයි මොකද මම හිතනවා ඒක වෙන්න ඕනේ මොකද දැන් මේක ඉංග්‍රීසි ඩිප්ලෝමා පාඨමාලා. ඒතකොට ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න මෙතනට ආවේ. ඒතකොට අපි මුල් මාස ටිකේදීම මම ඕගොල්ලන්ට හැම කියන්නේ අපි කතා කරපු හැම grammar point එකක්ම එතකොට spoken English written language එකේ හැම point එකක්ම මම bilingual ඒ කියන්නේ English වලිනුත් කියලා මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියලා සිංහලෙන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරුම් කියලා දුන්නා. හැබැයි අපිට English හොඳට පුරුදු වෙන්න නම් ඒ skills හතරම හොඳට හැදෙන්න නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ listening reading speaking කියන ability ටිකත් හැදෙන්න ඕනේ. හරි? ඒතර මම මේ module එකත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට English වලින්ම කියලා දෙන්නම්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ අහන් ඉන්න. අමාරු නෑ. බොහොම සරල විදිහට මම කියලා දෙන්නම්. හරි? එහෙනම් අද අපි අපේ session එකට යමු. Okay, today we are going to continue our last module, Business English, further, right? Okay, you can see there is an introductory paragraph, right? At the beginning of the presentation slide, you can see an introductory paragraph, right? First, we read it, right? Okay, English writing comes in many styles, academic, creative, formal, business, and several others. Parts of each style can overlap, making it difficult to understand one and how to use each kind. Business English or business writing is the style used in the professional world. This style is needed to complete job applications, communicate with potential employers, create professional website bios, write emails to employers and supervisors, and compose other kinds of job related writing as well. This handout is a general guide for how to use standard business English and etiquette when establishing a new professional contact. Okay, so in here, in this introductory paragraph, it's better if you're highlighting those sentences, right? This style, it means the business English, the style is needed to complete job applications. It's compulsory for you to know about business English in order to complete job applications, right? Job applications, communicate with potential employers, create professional website bios, write in emails to employers and supervisors, and compose other kinds of job related writing as well, right? So they are the main purpose of business English, right? You need to improve your business English in order to complete a kind of job application, communicate with potential employers, create professional website builds, write emails to employers and supervisors, and compose other kinds of job related writing. All right. So for these things, you need to improve your business English skills, especially spoken as well as written language, right? You have to be a kind of a fluent speaker as well as fluent writer in business English if you are an employer or a professional, right? Okay, so it's better to highlight those purposes, right? Instances, complete job applications, communicate with potential employers, create professional website bios, write emails to employers and supervisors, and compose other kinds of job related writing as well, right? So you have to highlight those sentences. Okay, I think everybody highlight those sentences, right? Okay. Business English tone. Next one, business English tone. It's a subtopic. As you can see, it's in blue color, right? Business English tone. As we discussed previously in yesterday lecture, if you remind it again, business English tone usually more formal and polite. Okay, it usually more formal and polite, right? Business English is direct and concise while still being friendly and cordial. Below are some sample sentences that are too casual, too blunt, and just right for business writing. Okay, so these are the examples as you can see. The first one, we will move to the first example, writing an email to a potential employer. right? You are going to write an email to potential employer. So email should be concise, polite, more formal, and the grammatical point, the grammar should be correct, right? Correct. Okay. Casual, blunt, business. Casually, we can see, we can say, I think it would be cool to work at your company. What do graphic designers do? That's a casual way, writing an email to a potential employer, right? In blunt way, please tell me more about the graphic design position at your company. So it's a blunt way, right? And business way, I'm interested in pursuing a graphic design position at your company and would like to learn more about the job. Are you available to discuss this position? My availability is below, right? So that's the way how you have to ask from a potential employer, right? That's the way that how you should ask. This is about graphic design, no? Okay, this is about graphic design job, right? So I'm interested in pursuing a graphic design position at your company and would like to learn more about the job, right? So in third way, in business way, everyone can just understand it easily, right? It doesn't contain much more complex sentences. Okay, it doesn't contain much complex words, right? Very simply asked, right? Very simply asked, everyone can easily understand what kind of thing that he or she asked, right? Language is very simple. It doesn't contain complex ones, right? Complex words. Okay. Okay, I'll read it again. Writing an email to a potential employer. Writing an email to a potential employer. Casual way, I think it would be cool to work at your company. What do graphic designers do? I think when we are comparing casual, blunt, and business, these three ways, you can see in business way, it's more polite than casual and blunt, right? In blunt way, please tell me more about the graphic design portion at your company, right? In business way, that you can see, it's more polite than the two other ways, right? It was more polite, right? It's more polite and usually more casual, right? Okay. Okay, we will move to the next example. Sending an application to a potential employer. Sending an application to a potential employer. Casual way, I finished my app. It's attached in this email. Thanks for your time. In blunt way, my completed application is attached below. In business way, I have completed my application and attached it below. Thank you for your consideration and I look forward to your response. Right. So when we are comparing these three ways together, what do you think? What do you think? What's more polite and more formal in here? In previous example that you can see, in business way, it's more formal, actually, sorry, not casual. It's more formal and polite, more formal and polite, right? In sending an application to a potential employer, in this second example that you can see the same. It means in business way, it's more formal and polite, concise, right? And very simple language is used in here, but in more polite and formal way, right? I have completed my application and attached it below. Thank you for your consideration and I look forward to your response. That's in very polite way, right? Polite way of asking something from a potential employer, right? Okay, I just read it again. Mm, you can just read with me, right? Without on the mic. Okay. Sending an application to a potential employer. Casual, I finished my app. It's attached in this email. Thanks for your time. In blunt way, my completed application is attached below. Business way, I have completed my application and attached it below. Thank you for your consideration and I look forward to your response, right? Okay, so that's second example. And we will move to the third example. Okay, I'll just give you 5 minutes to read these ones, right? Writing to a potential employer to schedule an interview on a messaging app, following up after a meeting, interview, prior discussion or the interaction, asking a clarifying question. Okay, these three. I'll just give you 5 minutes to read those three examples, right? Read it carefully, 2 or 3 times, read it again and again, read it, repeat that, right? Again and again, read it and then get the idea, right? You can see there is a clear difference in between those three ways, right? In casual, in blunt, and in business way, right? There is that the difference you can clearly see, right? It's mean in business way, when comparing with casual and blunt way, it's more polite and formal, concise, right? Okay, I'll just give you 5 minutes to read those remaining three examples, right? Get the time and read carefully, right? One word, right? Don't read more fast, just read it carefully with understanding, right? Okay. Then time is over. I think all of you read those examples, right? Okay. Third example, writing to a potential employer to schedule an interview on a messaging app, example, LinkedIn, right? So in casual way, you can say, I'm free on Friday. Let's meet up around 1 p.m. In blunt way, I'm available on Friday. We can meet at 1 p.m. In business way, I'm available on Friday at 1 p.m. Does that time work for you? Okay. So in out of those three ways that you can see, in business way, it's more formal and polite, and always it's grammatically also it's correct. Those three are also correct, right? But in when we comparing these three ways together, you can see in business way it's more formal and polite and concise, right? In casual way, it's like you are just talking with a friend, or you are just talking with a with some one like someone in peer group, right? Or with relative, or with your neighbor or your family member. That's the way that how we just communicate with one another, right? In casual way means in our day-to-day life we met different type of ordinary people, right? So with more close ones, right? With relatives, with neighbors, with friends, with your peers. That's the way that how you usually talk, how you usually communicate with one another. With close ones, right? With close ones, you just talk in a casual way, casual manner. But in business world, when you're becoming a professional or an employer, then you have to communicate with one another in this business platform in more formal and polite manner, right? So that's the main point you have to understood in here, right? You have to understand in here, that's the main point, right? Okay. I'll just read it again. The third example, writing to a potential employer to schedule an interview on a messaging app, right? For example, just like LinkedIn. Casual, blunt business, it's better to create an app on LinkedIn, right? If you are a working professional who's seeking for kind of another part-time job opportunity or whatever, if you need to change your job profession, then it's better if you have already prepared a LinkedIn profile, right? It's better if you keep a LinkedIn profile, update LinkedIn profile, right? It should be an updated one. Then you can have lots of job opportunities around the world, right? You can work online. Okay. You can work online with different companies, if you have certain type of skills that they need, right? So it's better if you can improve your computer literary skills, right? Especially in programming, cloud computing, just like that. If you can have that kind of skills, definitely you will be able to grab some job opportunities, right? Not some, actually there are a lot, right? There are a lot. So it's better if you can create a LinkedIn profile. Yeah, it's better, right? Just try it, right? If you not have a LinkedIn profile, it's better to do that, right? It's better to create a LinkedIn profile on your own, right? Okay. Casual, blunt business, casual. I'm free on Friday. Let's meet up around 1 p.m. Blunt way, I'm available on Friday. We can meet at 1 p.m. Business way, I'm available on Friday at 1 p.m. Does that time work for you, right? Okay, let's move to the next example. Following up after a meeting, interview, power discussion, or other interaction, right? Casual, blunt business. In casual way, hey, I gave you my hiring paperwork a couple weeks ago. How's the processing Okay, in casual way, hey, I gave you my hiring paperwork a couple weeks ago. How's the processing going, right? In blunt way, I sent you my hiring paperwork last week, but you did not respond to me. What happened? I sent you my hiring paperwork last week, but you did not respond to me. What happened? In business way, I submitted my hiring paperwork 2 weeks ago and haven't received any updates yet. So I wanted to check in and ensure there haven't been any issues. Please let me know if my paperwork has been proceeded or if there is anything I can do to help with the process, right? Okay, it's somewhat little long, right? Other than comparing with casual and blunt way. Okay, so anyway, that's a way that you have to ask, right? In the business world, in business platform, there's a way that how you have to communicate with one another because you are a professional, right? You are just connect and have a community in whatever the business platform. That community sorry, you have to communicate with the community, that business community, in more formal and polite manner, right? It's not the way that how you communicate with your close ones, just like relatives, neighbors, friends, right? So there is a kind of different vibe than this, right? Commonly that you can just discuss or whatever the things that you need to discuss and communicate, you need to talk with one another. It's totally different from this, right? Because business English is usually we just get the business English in the business platform, right? Especially if you communicate with, and if you are a job professional, as I said previously, as you are a job professional, or if you are employer in whatever the sector, it means you may be an employer in private sector or government sector. You have to follow these ones, right? This is the way that how you have to communicate in business platform, right? In business community, in front of the business community. This is the way. Okay. Okay, let's move to the other example, or I think that's the final example, right? Okay, asking a clarifying question. Casual, blunt, and business way, right? In casual way, can I put the project I'm working on right now in the Z way? In blunt way, you say to list all UX design projects. Explain if this means current projects too. In business way, your previous email says we should include all our US design projects in the annual survey. If I'm currently working on a project, should I include it in the survey? Right? Okay. So in here also that you can see the same situation, right? When we comparing those three ways together, you can see the same thing, right? In business way, it's more formal and polite and concise, but when comparing to those previous two ways, it means in casual and blunt way, right? Casual way, you can ask from any friend or relative or neighbor, anyone who are just very close to you, right? Can I put the project I'm working on right now in the survey, right? Okay, next there is another subtopic, business email etiquette. Okay, knowing what tone to use while writing in business English is important, but knowing how to format information is also necessary. The section below outline what information should be included in a business email, right? Spoken business language and written business language is really important. If you are a fluent speaker in business English, it added a kind of another advance in your personal professional career, not personal career, in professional career. It add another advancement or another advantage, positive impact to your professional profile. Okay, in order to uplift your career, in order to have a high position than whatever you you are now in, right? So you need to improve your spoken business English language skills, right? Not only that, as well as you have to improve the written language of business English, right? Because it's also compulsory, right? You have to be a pioneer in both written and spoken business English language skills, right? So it's compulsory if you are an employer, or if you are a job seeker, or if you are a employer, right? If you're a job speaker, definitely you have to develop those skills, right? Speaking skill as well as written English, written skills, right? Writing skills, you have to improve those two skills together, speaking skills and writing skills, because nowadays in private and government sectors, we just share our legal documents or whatever the document via email, right? Or through WhatsApp sometimes, but mostly we are just sharing company to another company, or in private sector or whatever the sector. We normally use emails, right? In nowadays, as with the digital era, we normally send emails, right? So in emails, as we discussed earlier in email unit, I think you can remember those ones. Emails can be divided into two main parts, as formal emails and informal emails, right? So we already discussed how to write a formal email, how to write an informal email, what's the key differences in between those two email types. We already discussed those topics, right? In earlier Zoom sessions, we already discussed those topics, right? What is an email, what is the main purpose of email, and what is informal email, what is informal, and what is formal email, and what are the key differences in between those email types, right? We already discussed those things. If you can't remember all these things, just better if you can have I think you can have the PDF documents, right? Now you can have all the PDF documents, because all are uploaded in your WhatsApp group. So look into the WhatsApp group, then you can have all the PDF documents with regard to the unit of email, right? Okay, business email ethic, right? So step one is greetings or salutations, right? So this is the way that how you have to write a complete email in business world, right? If you just communicate in business community, this is the way of writing an email to a potential employee, right? Okay. Step one, greetings, salutations. Dear is the most common and acceptable way to begin an email. As you know, dear is the most common and acceptable way to begin an email, right? I think everybody know about that, right? However, once you have built a relationship with the recipient of your email, then you can using hi, hello, good morning, or good afternoon is also acceptable. But I think it's better if you can use the greeting or the salutation as dear, right? I think it's most common and it's really good if you can use dear as a salutation, right? A greeting. Dear is the most common and acceptable way to begin an email, right? Okay, step is honorifics. Okay, the step is honorifics. Okay, I'll just give you 5 minutes to read these also, right? I'll just share the next presentation slide, then you can easily read that. I'll just say, share first, right? Okay, I'll just give you 10 minutes to read Step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thank you, right? And step 6 is closing. We will just discuss about it later. You have to read step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These are the steps that you need to follow when you write an email to a kind of anyone. It means a potential employer in business, right? In business purposes, that you need to follow these rules, follow these steps in order to have a complete email, right? Without any error, without any error. So read it carefully. Don't read very fast. Just read it carefully with understanding, right? Just read it word by word, right? Not sentence, just word by word. Just read it, right? Just read it. I'll just give you 10 minutes, right? Okay, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just take your time and read it carefully. I know that you are not read this in your home, right? Whether you have free time or whatever, when you get the free time, I know that you didn't even read a single word, right? So that's the way. No, yeah, that's the way. So I'll just give you time in this live Zoom session, right? So take the time, right? Don't engage in another activity at this moment, right? So keep your concentration within this 1.5 hours in this session, right? Okay, I'll just give you some time. It's better to read, right? Like 2 or 3 times. It just read it, right? First, you will be you won't be understand anything, right? Then you have to read it second, and you have to read it again another time. In third time, you will understand a kind of key idea. You can grab a kind of key idea about what this say, right? Okay, I'll just give you some time. Take your time and read it carefully. Okay, I think time is up, right? Okay, we will just discuss. I think everyone just recap, right? I think you already read those steps, right? Okay, step one, as we discussed previously, um, dear is the most common and acceptable way to begin an email, right? However, once you have built a relationship with the recipient of your email using hi, hello, good morning, or good afternoon is also acceptable. But it's better if you can write the salutation as dear, right? Okay, step two, honorifics. Honorifics are titles that precede someone's name. The most common honorifics are Miss for women and Mr. for men, right? I think everyone just know that, right? Miss for women and Mr. for men, right? Avoid using Miss, Mrs. and Madam for women unless your recipient has specified. Otherwise, these honorifics are historically tied to a women's martial status, right? So no need to add Mrs., Miss, Madam instead of Miss, right? It's better if you can note, if you can write down Miss, right? Miss for women and Mr. for men, right? So that's the correct way. That's the common and that's a format, right? That's a format. That's a common format. Yours, Miss for women and Mr. for men, right? Mr. for men and Miss for women. Don't use Miss, Mrs., Madam, right? Don't use Miss, Mrs., Madam for women because it portrays a kind of idea about the women's martial status, right? In historical era, that you can see that the women and man equality is somewhat different, right? Unequality is there, right? As you know, right? Okay, which is irrelevant and inappropriate to comment on in a modern working environment, right? Uh, Now, as you know, this is a digital technological era, right? Which is mixed up with the artificial intelligence technology. So when we move to 2045 or 2050, the whole will become an AI village. It means an artificial intelligence village. Everything in every workplace, AI work there, right? AI get together. Okay, so in next 10 or 20 years, the whole world just turned into a digital AI era, right? So at every workplace, in occupational health safety and in education and in whatever, in electricity, in electricity department and in every department in government sector as well as in private sector, that we have to familiar with AI technology, right? We have to familiar with AI technology in order to uplift our careers in future, right? For Sri Lanka is also it's applicable, right? Because now also AI use somewhat in average level in mostly in private sector, that we can see in private as well as in government sector. Okay, so it will develop in next 10 or 20 years further, right? It never in the same portion, it develops day by day, right? So keep in mind to improve your skills in the field of IT, right? IT skills, you need to improve those skills, right? Especially programming, some programming languages. If you are just familiar with Python, right? Out of the programming languages, if you can familiar with Python programming, I think it's better, right? It's a good investment for your career in future, right? Okay. Step two, as we discussed previously, honorifics. So avoid using Miss, Mrs., and Madam for women unless your recipient has specified otherwise. These honorifics are historically tied to women's martial status, which is irrelevant and inappropriate to comment on in a modern working environment. If you are unaware of your recipient gender identity, MX can be used as a gender neutral alternative. If your message recipient holds a doctoral degree, you can add DR. DR is appropriate, right? If you know the recipient holds a Doctor of Philosophy degree, then you need to add DR in front of his or her name, right? It's appropriate, right? It's appropriate. And then step 3, your surnames. One first communicating with someone, it is best to address them by their surname. Surname means the last name, right? The surname in the salutation until they have indicated otherwise, right? So it's better if you can add the surname, right? If you are first communicating with someone for the first time, so it's better to address them by their surname. Surname means the last name, right? And step 4, introducing yourself and your purpose. So that's the fourth step. This is the most important step, right? Other steps are also important, but you have to keep in your mind in step 4 the grammar. Don't make any mistake in spelling or grammar, right? You have to be and like you have to have a good understanding about the tense pattern and all the grammar points that we already discussed, right? All the grammar points from basic to intermediate level we already discussed. So you have to keep all these rules in your mind, right? No grammatical mistakes and no spelling errors, right? Okay. Why I'm saying step 4 is most important, because in here you have to note down the purpose why you are writing this email, right? So purpose more correctly, right, without any grammatical or spelling error, right? Okay. If you are contacting someone for the first time, state your full name and briefly summarize why you are contacting them in a sentence or two. So here is an example. You can see there is a box. So inside the box that there is example, right? Dear Miss, I can just see the name. Adbal, right? Dear Miss Adbal, or my name is Kitlali Guerrero, and I recently learned about the open computer science position at your company. I'm excited to learn more about it. Would it be possible to arrange a meeting with you to discuss this position further? Okay. So everyone can just understand, right? A simple language used in here. Everyone can just easily understand what kind of message portrays by this, right? Being direct and concise about what you are requesting from the recipient is important. Yeah, it's really, really important, right? Being direct, always just saying what you need and why you are just writing this email, just saying it directly, right? Directly and concise, right, about what you are requesting from the recipient is really important, right? Here is an example of unclear communication. Okay. Dear Mr. My name is Sitlali, and I recently learned about the open I could learn about the portion. So in this that you can see, what from the recipient is not being directly asking, right? She's not directly asking. The, there's no anything. It means she was wondering if you could learn more about the portion. You have to note down what are the things that you need to know. You have to you can ask if Okay, as I said previously, there is no any barrier, right? There is no any barrier to asking a kind of question from the recipient, right? I think there is a signal failure, so sorry for disconnection. Let's continue, right? Okay. Um, what we discuss, I think it's better to open the PDF file, right? That we are in the step 4, no? Yeah. Just open your PDF document, right? Okay. And here that you can see, this message does not provide a full introduction or list the specific position. It also does not indicate if you would like to be sent more resources, information about the position, request a meeting with the recipient, be directed to someone already working in that position or something else. Every email should have at least one clear item towards or request, right? So it's more important to remember in your mind, right? It's more important. You have to keep those things in mind, right? What to keep in your mind is every email should have at least one clear item towards or request, right? So finally, step 5, thank you, right? So step 5 is thank you. And next, closing. Step 6 is closing. We will just discuss those 2 steps further in our next session, right? There will be some more points for us to discuss in business English module, right? So I don't think to be more fast in this module, because this is somewhat harder to understand, right? Somewhat harder, but this is not harder. Actually, this is business English mean it's really interesting and enjoyable subject to learn, right? It's not so hard, just like English literature, right? Okay. Mm, so today we learned what is business English. We further discussed, and we just learned about the key difference in between casual, blunt, and business way. And today we just learn how to write an email in business platform. It's somewhat different, right? In business, emails mean those emails, right? In earlier when we discussed about the business emails, sorry, in email unit we already discussed about how to write an email and what are the key differences in formal and informal email. And in there I said for you that I just cover the business email module, business email unit in business English module, right? If you can remember, I just said right that like that, right? Okay. So those are the points we discussed today. There are 6 steps to follow in order to write a correct, better business email, right? There are success steps. So you have to keep in your mind those success steps, right? So it's compulsory for you to remind all the 6 steps you need to follow when you write a business email, right? So those are the things we already discussed for today's session. We will meet up by in another session, right? In another session. So I'll just today wrap the session today. If you have any question, just drop me a message to my personal WhatsApp, right? If you have any doubt or if you have any question in previous lesson, just ask me, right? Just ask me if you have any doubt or whatever things, right? If you have some issues, some understanding issues of grammar, just ask from me, right? I'll just reply to you, but it took some time, right? Because nowadays I'm just little bit busy with my work, so but I test you, right? Okay. Then we will see you again. I will see you again. uh, Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.